How is everybody doing? How is everybody doing? Today I want to talk about something that has been very heavy in my heart. That relates to the United States of America, free speech, the Israel and Palestinian conflict, criticizing Israel and the implications for someone like me who is a guest in the United States of America. We all have seen the stories of the student in the Columbia University. That's one of I think it's an Ivy League, actually, if I'm not mistaken. It's in New York City. It's one of the oldest universities in the country, more than close to 200 years old. This gentleman was involved in the protest, the anti-Israel protest last year. His name is Mahmoud Khalil, who is, from what I'm hearing, is from Syria. But he has Palestinian heritage, and he is an American permanent citizen, meaning he has a green card. And the Trump administration has arrested him, and he has been moved to a facility in Louisiana. And at any given moment now, he will be deported. That is, if a court, an immigration judge agrees with the revocation of his permanent residency. Which is, I would say that most of us who are guests in America, we don't even have green cards. We are on student visas. I'm not going to go into what type of visas people are on. Student visas, work visas, skilled workers, and things like that, which is easier to revoke than a permanent residency. But they are seemingly going to revoke it. And I've been thinking about this, and this has really been heavy on my mind. It's been heavy on my mind also because I realized a few years ago, I changed my perspective on the Israel-Palestine war in 2022. After supporting Israel almost unquestionably for all of my life. And then eventually I got to a point where I was just like, the claims that were being made by the Israel government were just not adding up. And I thought that as an honest person, I couldn't in good faith continue to support Israel. And over this period of time, I've realized that my opposition to Israel is creating strife between myself and my American counterparts of both parties. And it was making difficult relationships. And eventually I realized that this might result in me getting deported, getting a visa being denied, in application, reapplication, whatever situation where it might be like, listen, we can't admit you into the United States. And I'm thinking this is probably going to be the only video I'm going to make about this until maybe such a time as the United States is no longer a place that I want to live in, or until such a time, that because it's possible that I might move to Australia. I've been thinking about moving to Australia quite some time, or New Zealand. But as long as I want to remain in the United States of America, it became very clear to me that I cannot criticize Israel. And it becomes very clear to me that free speech in America is not an absolute right, and it's certainly not an absolute right for guests. That there is a Israel exception to free speech in the United States. It's a very sad situation, but I've come to accept the fact that if you are a guest in someone's house, you cannot freely and just freely criticize them. You are a guest. You need to know who you are, where you are, and who you are talking to. This is a theme that I've consistently been pushing in my videos. I've pushed it with regards to the issue of South Africa and the United States. I've pushed it with regards to when Vladimir Zelensky shat on his pants there in the White House and made a fool of himself. It's a principle that obviously I need to apply to myself, but it's also a principle that I've seen that even in my own personal, professional life, that some of the mistakes that are made is that sometimes you need to know as a person when to shut up. Sometimes you need to know which battles to choose. It's quite unfortunate because a lot of us, when we move, I mean, I got friends who are in China, for instance, who've been in China for 10 years. And all of these friends, they know which they can't say anything to criticize the Communist Party of China, or to say anything that is not in line with foreign policy objectives of the Chinese government. Whatever it is, they can't run a YouTube page criticizing the Chinese government. Mainly because not that they will be deported, they'll actually be put in prison and be put to hard labor. It's the same story if you are in Russia or if you are in North Korea. But we rationalize those things by saying that, but these are not free societies. And one of the reasons why some of us chose the United States of America as opposed to China, for instance, because I can make a lot of money in China. I mean, China is probably the only place also in the world that makes millionaires as fast and as much as the United States, and if not more. And one of the reasons why a lot of us are not going there is because we've been sold of the vision of freedom in the United States of America. And it doesn't seem that it's true, especially when it comes to the issue of criticizing Israel. And I must say that this Mahmoud Khalil guy, I don't know what he did. I don't know what he said. I have not seen the details of his case. But if anything, and if the narrative of the guys, lawmakers, the executive in the United States, including Marco Rubio, you listen to what they are saying, it doesn't seem to me that this is some fire-breathing terrorist guy who has a hard-on for Hamas. I could be wrong. It seems to me that it is a conflation of the criticism of Israel is a support of killing of innocent children, of Israeli children, which I have found to be a very unfortunate and unfair accusation. And I found that there is nothing that you can say to Americans to disabuse them of this view that Israel is an innocent actor in this conflict. And I don't know at what stage will Americans of both parties wake up and smell the coffee in terms of the crimes that Israel is committing. But until that time, if I want to be a guest in the United States of America, I'm realizing that I need to suck it up and shut up and choose my battles. That's really what needs to happen. And therefore, I am not going to be engaging in anything that has to do with Israel. I'm not going to be criticizing Israel. I'm not going to go into any until such a time that maybe I have decided that finally I'm moving to Australia or I'm moving to Hungary, which is, I've been thinking about doing that. There are certain European countries that I would consider moving to, like Greece is very nice, maybe Portugal, which has a good weather, Spain, but Hungary is at the top of my list. Budapest, I love that country. So if at a certain time then that I've decided that I no longer have an interest of being a guest in the United States of America, that will only maybe be in the time where I can freely criticize Israel. And I think that I think these people are sincere in their view of Israel. I just think that they are sincerely wrong. And having been involved in very hectic disagreements in my own personal and professional life, I've learned to realize that it's not very helpful to be antagonizing people when there is no hope of finding any middle ground. And in this particular case, there is no wisdom in antagonizing my host on something that we cannot get any agreement on. And so it is something that I would like to also advise others who are on a visa, whatever visa it is. You are a guest, or even if you are not on a visa, you have a green card. You are a guest. As a guest in the United States of America, you need to understand who you are, and you need to understand where you are, and you need to understand who you are talking to. And it really saddens me. And I've thought about not making this video, but also at the same time, this would be the only video that I do on Israel maybe for the next 5 years to 10 years. Yeah, but we will see where I will be 5 years from now. 5 years is a long time. It's actually a short time if you think about it. But yeah, yeah, that's it. Yeah, folks. And let me know what you guys think about it, because that's what it is. That's what it is. And it will be unfortunate now when you have removal proceedings against you, and then now you are playing the victim, and then now, oh, woe is me, woe is me. Wrong, right, or indifferent, you are a guest. You are a guest. Any country that you are a guest on can revoke your visa at any given moment, or they can revoke your privilege of being in their country for whatever reason. So be mindful of that. And then let's just let the Americans do their own debate on the issue of Israel. And yeah, especially if you want to be a guest in the United States. Yeah, so that's really I'm thinking. There's no point in being stubborn for no reason, actually. And that's part of being wise and being mature in life. Some battles are just not worth the cost that it's going to cost you, especially if you are trying to build something the long term, as I'm trying to build something, leave a legacy for my children, build something out of nothing. So it's just not worth the trouble. Yeah, but okay, folks. Cheers. See you another time.